When did you realize that you had a lot of strangers who were in love with you?
I was so young. It was all so weird at the time, and it would come very strange ways. I remember being with press people where I would be at a round table and someone from another country would be interviewing and he would say, "What's your bra size?" And I say, "Okay, I don't think that's really appropriate." And then they say, "How does it feel to be the sexiest woman alive?" And I feel like I'm literally a kid. Shut up. I don't know what's going on. This does not feel right.
Today, we're going to be taking a quick look into the world of 90s Hollywood and one of its biggest teen stars, Alicia Silverstone. Most of us remember her as the iconic Cher from Clueless, but there's way more to her story than yellow plaid and popularizing Valley Girls speak. Born in 1976, Alicia started modeling at just 6 years old, breaking into acting with her first real gig doing a Domino's pizza commercial. By the early 90s, she was booking real acting gigs, including an episode of The Wonder Years in 1992. Everything started off pretty PG, but it didn't take long for things to get uncomfortable. Her breakout role came in 1993 with The Crush, where she was only 15 years old playing a character obsessed with a 30-year-old man. What makes this even more disturbing is that her co-star Carrie Elwes was actually 30 in real life too. To even work on this movie, Alicia had to legally emancipate herself from her parents so she could travel to Canada and work the intense shooting schedule. The movie was basically a teen Lolita situation, with actual intimate scenes between a minor and an adult. Alicia later admitted she felt incredibly lonely during filming, so she basically just defaulted to trusting everyone around her, which she later called a mistake. As you'd expect, instead of being horrified by the morally questionable nature of the film, Hollywood loved it. She won not one, but 2 MTV Movie Awards for the performance, including Best Villain. This was 1994, and apparently nobody thought twice about a 16-year-old being sexualized on screen. Anyone else getting flashbacks to Brooke Shields in The Blue Lagoon? Director Marty Callner saw The Crush and immediately wanted Alicia for Aerosmith's music videos. Just a little suspicious. Between 1993 and 1994, she starred in 3 of their biggest hits: Cryin', Amazing, and Crazy. She was 17, and these videos were absolutely loaded with sexual imagery. In one, she's literally getting a belly button piercing, which apparently started that whole trend. The Crazy video featured her alongside Liv Tyler, who was only 16 at the time, and both teenage girls were put in these overtly sexual scenarios with adult men. What's really telling is that Alicia had to negotiate not taking her clothes off in these videos. Think about that for a sec. A 17-year-old having to advocate for herself to keep her clothes on in a music video. Regardless, these videos got millions of views and made her a household name, but she was constantly being called the Aerosmith chick, which really bothered her because she wanted to be taken seriously as an actress. Then came 1995 and Clueless, the role that would define her career. At 18, she perfectly captured that spoiled, fashion-obsessed Beverly Hills teenager, and the movie became an instant classic. Her yellow plaid outfit is still iconic today, and she won a bunch of awards for the performance. Columbia TriStar was so impressed they gave her a deal worth $8 to $10 million, plus her own production company. But here's the thing about sudden fame at 18. It's brutal. Alicia has been really open about struggling during this period, wishing she had access to therapy while navigating Hollywood as a teenager. She was being constantly objectified, with grown men openly crushing on her when she wasn't even legal yet. Eventually, in a moment that most female actors fear, the industry that had been obsessing over her youth suddenly turned on her when she started looking more like an adult woman. This became painfully obvious when Batman and Robin came out in 1997. The movie flopped, but instead of criticizing the script or direction, tabloids of course focused on Alicia's appearance. They started calling her Fat Girl, and one publication literally compared her to Babe the Pig. The same group that had been drooling over her as a teenager was now body-shaming her for not maintaining that impossibly young look. Looking back, Alicia's story perfectly captures how messed up Hollywood was in the 90s, and the fact that all of this happened in broad daylight, with everyone celebrating it, shows just how different things were back then. It's wild to think that Clueless came out almost 30 years ago, but Alicia's experience as a teen star feels incredibly relevant today. She basically lived through everything we now recognize as problematic about how young women were treated in entertainment. The good news is she eventually found her way, stepping back from Hollywood to focus on activism and raising her family on her own terms. So, what do you guys think about Alicia's story? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more throwback content.